Morning everyone. I'm a little bit late this morning and I'm in a little bit of a flurry trying to get to us because I'm going on holiday. So I'm going to be away from my desk from the 16th to the 23rd. So if you want a reading, you will either have to try and catch me this week, and I do have a little bit of room left, or it will have to wait till I return on the 23rd or 24th. So let's just catch up on everything. Firstly, thank you so much for all your beautiful comments. For those of you who have got readings from me, thank you for allowing me to do your readings. If you do want a reading with me, the best place to contact me is at the aussiegoddess@gmail.com. All one word, no numbers, the Aussie Goddess, all spelt straightforward. Because I have got a number of people still asking me about my website. I'm not quite ready to put it back up again because I've got so much going on at the moment. And there's a few reasons, but it will go up when I've got a little bit more into a routine. Okay, so do be careful of scammers. That is the only email address I can be contacted on. So if people are trying to approach you on here, Facebook or whatever, please make sure that you understand that I'm only contactable on that one email address. All right, and I don't solicit readings. I don't come after you for readings. You do what you need to do. It's the way it's always been for me. Only time I've ever given away free readings is when I've done a Facebook Live, which I haven't done for a while. All right, so where else am I up to? Membership. Thank you for those who've joined me as members. Please keep in mind, if you want to learn to read the tarot, you will need to go for the deluxe membership, which is the top one. If you go for the ones underneath, you won't be privy to the tarot readings. The only reason I've done that is because I want to keep it tight about how many people I have in a group at one time, and that way I can monitor. But if you're unsure, have a look. There are 3 levels for membership. So some of them you will get in on the first level, other things you'll get on the second level, and on the third level you'll get everything that's in 1, 2 and 3. So go for that. I'm not sure if that's how I want to have it, but it's the first time I've ever done it, so I'm going to try. Let's see how it goes, and I may review. All right, we are going to use the Morgan Greer Tarot for your reading today. All right. I do intend doing some lives and getting back to doing lives on here and possibly on Facebook, but not at the moment. I've got so much going on, so I'm just going to wait until I'm sort of a little bit more in place. It's beautiful that the Strength card has come through. And I talk about this a lot with making changes about yourself, or really starting to work out how to make changes with yourself. You could have seen patterns, you could have seen ways of doing things. Like I say, you might just have relationships where you keep meeting the same person with a different face. But there's always, to me, something in your shadow side when this comes to the front, something that you need to work on. And I have been having the most vivid dreams in the last week about all of these things. For most of you who sort of have been with me on the journey, you know that healing is a lifetime thing. And I often hear people saying, well, I've done enough now. And I think, well, you know, when you've been doing it for 20, 30 years, you will realize that the changes don't come so easily. And every time you peel back a layer, there seems to be another layer underneath. So this is about your shadow side. I am reading a very, very good book, and I've read through it once and I'm going through it again because this woman is on a journey and she's taken other people on the journey, and she works so closely to how I work. And her name is Dr. Nicola Pereira, I think, and it's called How to Do the Work. So if you're interested in that book, I would highly recommend it. It has reaffirmed a lot of things for me and is opening a lot of things up for me. So it's starting to get me sort of into new things that I need to probably look at. So I'm finding that very interesting. For those of you on the journey, always keep in mind that I do life coaching with people to try and help you move through that. And I do offer usually if I'm going to offer, I may offer 6 placements for a cheaper price just to sort of get through. But that is sort of my passion, is the healing. So when I see this card, oh wow, so you have the devil right behind it. So the devil represents the ego, and I always, again, I talk about this too. And this woman that I've been reading is very much about this as well. We cannot discard our ego. A lot of people say, oh, get rid of your ego, we're going to work to clear it, blah, blah. You cannot. Your ego is an integral part of who you are. So it's just that what happens is a lot of what gets captured in our ego is not helpful for us on the journey. So, you know, sometimes if we've been raised to believe a certain thing, it gets so embedded in us as a core belief that we find it really hard to shake. And it's probably given to you by somebody else. Sometimes when people say things, especially if they have a bit of influence on you, we can take it so much to heart and believe that's who we are. And let's face it, there are a lot of people out there who are hurtful and nasty and will say things because of their own I guess, insecurities, their own egos. They might want to put you down. They may be jealous of who you are, or they may just have some sort of issue, problem with you, and they will call you or name you something or whatever just in order to make themselves feel good. So, and a lot of people are sorry, they are liars. And I've seen it, it's been shown to me so much in the last couple of months about how many people will lie to get past their own insecurities. And to me, this is what this is all about. Understanding that perhaps, you know, what you need to heal is perhaps opening your eyes up to people who portray a certain type of person but underneath are not there. And I feel like if you stand back and become the observer in your own life, you start seeing people for their true value. And honestly, this week I've discarded, I've cut out, I've let go of people who have represented or presented a different type of person to me. So here we go. Shadow work. Something in your ego that you're repeating, you need to go away and do some work on that. There could be some sort of action taken to complete, look at this, a cycle here. Now, we do have the Two of Cups here, which very often represents for me a romantic relationship. So it could be that you've met a person who has presented to you a certain way but isn't really who they presented as. And like I always say, you need to make sure you do the interviews before you start committing to people or before you start giving over. And maybe that cycle is about your generosity, your love for people, giving, you know, to others, and not really understanding where your energy finishes and that person starts. So there's a real energy here of some sort of cycle. Either you're about to see it, it's about to be shown to you, or you've seen it like I have through my dreams over the last couple of weeks, and you need to perhaps, I almost want to say, cut it off, let it go, understand that it's doing you more harm than what it's doing you good. So whatever this is, let's have a look. All right, so look, Justice card straight out of the gate. You know, the Justice card for me often talks about karmic energy. And we all have in this life, you know, something that we need to work through. We, you know, have these really ridiculously hard upbringings. I know some of you have had those. We've had all the challenges along the way, but we sort of learn to work with that, and we learn to grow ourselves in a much more healthy way. And perhaps that does mean discarding people. But when I see the Justice card, I have to say that you may be on a very, you may be doing a karmic cycle at the moment that you're about to finish out. I do feel that there's communication here. I do feel that, I'll just pull 4 cards here. I do feel that something needs to be cut free here, but to me it's something you're hanging on to. And I see this 8 of Wands, and I think these can be the arrows of love. And maybe, like, you know, I had to work out that sometimes we're addicted to love, we're addicted to an idea of love that isn't necessarily true, and because of that we can be very taken in with people who can talk the talk. So, and there are a lot of people out there like that. They can say a lot of things and not really mean what they say, and they become very fake. So it feels to me like there is some sort of energy around hanging on to something. And I think this is the ideal. Maybe you think that, for some people, this could be, I'm trying to sort of think how to phrase this. Sometimes we hang on to something because of our beliefs. And I know this comes up a lot with people. For example, if you are a people pleaser, you can be hanging on to the idea that you can fix people, you can mend people, you can do what you need to do to make that person okay. And let's face it, you can't fix anyone. People have to fix themselves. And we can be a support, we can be a soft place to land, we can be the person who, if they ask for advice, gives, I was going to say unabridged. I don't know why Spirit put that there, but sometimes we can be really honest. We don't, include our own views or include our own ways of doing things, but we can be completely honest with people to help them get on track. But sometimes, as I said, people may just take you for granted. They may see you as an easy catch, an easy haul. Let's put it that way. So, you can get taken advantage of so easily. And I feel like here there is something you're hanging on to here because for some reason it's embedded in you that you are doing the right thing and you are judging yourself based in that. I think I've talked to people before about piousness and judgment, being able to get past the fact that you are always right or your way of doing things is the best way of doing them. And I think I've said to people, I realized a long time ago that not everything I do, think, or say is exactly right. And it occurred to me when I was getting always aggravated by people littering and dropping cigarettes on the ground and having such a complete disregard for the universe. And it really cut me, realizing there was nothing I could do about that. I can run around and pick up paper after people if I want to try fix it. But at the end of the day, I can only look after that myself or encourage other people to do it, but I can't make them. So control is out of the question in this particular scenario. But there is a need here for control. So there's some sort of control you're hanging on to, and the universe has sort of sent the Queen of Swords energy out that you need to let go of, cut out, let go of. All right, so we have the Fool card. I love that. Right, now we're getting into business. Conflict and a Page of Cups coming through. We have the Queen of Cups here, strong water energy coming through with the Wheel of Fortune and the Victory card coming right through at the end. Whatever I'm seeing here, and I know a lot of people write to me and say, that is exactly what's going on for me at the moment. And I feel like for some of you, I may be hitting you right at the time when you're starting to realize that perhaps the people you've surrounded yourselves with or the people that you are listening to or the information you're getting here is not right. And it feels to me like it might be in your romance life or in regards to romance. We all grow up with this idea of the knight on the white horse, or that somebody's going to rescue us. And I think it comes from this idea that romantic love is all that we can find, and we have to fall in love and we have to do it this way, and we have all these laws we put around how love should present itself to us. But I feel like here that there is either you've met someone or you're about to meet someone that's going to take you on a different look. Like I always say, no judgment here. I've done the same thing throughout my whole life, thinking this has to be this way and this has to be. And in the beginning, I had very, very strict rulings on what sort of person was right for me. And I just kept getting it wrong. And I would be like, well, hang on a moment. I've put this person through all these steps, and I've ended up with a person exactly the same as the last person. Narcissists are really good at creating a storyline for you. They can convince you that they are totally in love with you, you're the best thing they've ever found, and they want to dash you down into the down the aisle, to get married or off on their horse or whatever else. Um, and it's not just in romantic situations. People can be very manipulative about how they present themselves. They can present an image of themselves that is ultra squeaky clean, but underneath is this festering of poor childhood, narcissistic families, all of those things festering underneath, but they still feel they have to present a certain type of person to the world. And it's very, very difficult for them to maintain over a long period of time, because sooner or later spirit will hit you with that really quickly. So I feel like somehow or another, either you're dealing with somebody or about to deal with somebody where you have to see things for what they are. You can no longer see them through your rose-colored glasses. So this could be romantic, but on another hand, it may not be about romance. It might be about you understanding how to be the observer in your life. Somebody called it something else the other day, and I haven't heard it referred to that as that before. But this idea that you can get out, it might have even been that book I've been listening to, Dr. Nicole Pereira, whatever her name is here. I'll have to find out the exact name for you. But it's like we have to see things for what they are without all of our conditioning, without all of our ego, being able to put the ego aside to see things purely for what they are. And you will know, because you will question it. You will say, that doesn't sound quite right to me. But instead of trusting it, dig deeper. So there's a real need here for you to do some of that. So I feel like you're on some sort of journey at the moment. There does seem to be some work required here around your ego, your views, your past ideas, because a cycle needs to be closed out that's causing you a great deal of anxiety. And it could be just about meeting someone. Sometimes when we sort of have this idea that we can't be on our own, we need to be with somebody else. And we go desperately seeking Susan, desperately seeking a person, and that we just keep coming up with the same sort of person in a different place. So I feel like somehow or another you're being taken on a little bit of a journey here. So let's have a look at what Spirit has to say. We're going to use the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light. I have the card of Lumeria out here. Creating heaven on earth. Sometimes I think people who are spiritual try so hard to try and improve the lives of others. And I want to say thank you, because I know so many people do that as part of the work we do. 114. I feel like I need to say thank you to you. For some people, we'll be doing the herbs, and some people do crystals, and some people, like one of the people I have contact with on here, doing food, looking at food, what's best for you to eat. And I feel like, people are really trying to do their part to get their businesses off the ground, and you're doing an amazing job. So Lemuria makes me feel like that. So it's one of the earth's lost lands where heaven really was a place on earth, a time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony, all beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. Well, doesn't that fit beautifully with the reading? We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us, and the sun no better. Perhaps you too believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you're part of the transition team who at soul level are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. Thank you for wanting to do this work. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the state of affairs on the planet right now, but you're being encouraged to keep holding the clear vision of the future. It is closer than you think. And I think, some of the things that are going on in the world right now just go against everything that a person like me believes in, and I guess many of you believe in. So I feel like here that the only way to improve the energy of the planet is to heal ourselves. And I think the more energy we put into healing ourselves and vibrating higher, the more chance we have of being able to sort of infect other people. But anyway, I'll leave you with that deep reading for today. Thank you.